and welcome back to Desert DIY. Today I have 10 DIY furniture thrift store flips for you, and the very first one is one that has been very popular on my channel, but I wasn't sure if everybody had seen it, and it is this little side table that I turned into a bench. So for this video and for the rest of the videos in this compilation, I will be doing a quick version of past furniture flips and thrift store makeovers that I have done on my channel. So some of these might be super old and some of them might be pretty recent. And forgive the quality of the video of the super old ones, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody got to see some really cool thrift store makeovers right now. I know that everybody is probably busy and under quite a bit of stress with everything that is going on in the world today, so I just wanted to get something out there to help stay positive and still feel creative if you are stuck at home or whatever the case may be. So already in this part of the video, I have taken off the top half of this side table and put wood filler in it, and now I'm going to be sanding it down, painting it, and putting a stencil on the top of it. For my second project, I am going to be doing a coffee table flip. I got this coffee table from a thrift store. I think I spent about $10 on it, and it has a big stone, like maybe slate or marble. I'm not sure what kind of stone it was, but it has a big stone top on it, and you can't see that in the before part, but you will see it in the after. And I just cleaned it up really good, and I put a few coats of paint on it, and sanded the edges to give it a nice distressed look, and that was it. It was really a quick project, and all it took was just a little bit of sweat and hard work, and it turned out really beautiful, and I sold it for a very decent profit. Project number 3 is one of my favorite projects and one of my favorite videos I've ever made. Although this is a really old video for my channel, I had a lot of fun editing this and going with like a 1940s theme kind of in my editing as well. And of course, I just want to say that with this video and with all the other videos, I'm going to link the playlist so you can see all the real in-depth videos of these makeovers, because I'm just doing short chopped up versions of them to help keep the videos from being way too long in this compilation. But this desk I picked up for free. Somebody was actually throwing it away, and it is an Art Deco piece, and it was in really rough shape, and I cleaned it up really good. It was really stinky, it had mouse poop in it, and it was just really sad looking, and it needed some repairs. The left-hand side of this desk was kind of opening up wide because that bottom shoe molding came off. So I just repaired it, put everything back together, and then I fixed up the finish of this piece with a wood stain, and the wood was really dry, so it took the stain beautifully, and it still showed the age of the piece. It didn't make it look brand new, it just made it look well loved and cared for instead of, you know, heading to the dump worthy. So when I was done with this piece, I did use a product at the end that is not in this video, but is in the original video. And that product is called Restore a Finish, and it is a sealer that I use after I restain pieces in the way that I did on this one. So if you're gonna use this method of fixing up a dried up wood stain on any piece that you're using, then I would highly recommend using some kind of sealer on it afterwards, or else it'll feel really sticky. Number 4 in this DIY furniture fix-up compilation is actually a little Ottoman that I got from a thrift store. It was just a few dollars. It was really wobbly, needed some repairs, and I just wanted to freshen up the way it looked. It was kind of like real 80s or 90s looking, so I just took the cushion off and I recovered it in a prettier fabric that I had on hand and spray painted the legs, and it was a really easy, super simple furniture flip. Number 5. This blue chair is the second part to go to that Ottoman, and I will show you how they look together at the end of this chair's portion of the video. And what I did is I just taped off all of the cushion part and I spray painted it, and then I use an actual paintbrush on the more flat surfaces like the arms, the backs, the legs. But for that intricate like rattan area, I definitely did spray paint that area, because if I were to paint that with a paintbrush, it would have gotten really drippy. But here's how it turned out in the end, and the cushion on there was something I had left over from another chair that didn't make it. And project number 6 is a cute little wooden chair. I'm not really sure how old this piece is, but it was all solid wood and it was very fancy, I guess you could say. It just needed some help in the looks department. It was very outdated, and I just did what I always do with these chairs, and I took the seat off, recovered it, and painted. But this one I did something extra special, which was a lime wash. And the lime wash method you will see on here in this little short clip is really simple. You wipe it on and then wipe off the excess, and it leaves a really cool antiqued look on any wood piece. And of course, like all my other projects, I will at the end seal it with a polyacrylic, because lime wash is definitely porous and kind of rough feeling, and you're gonna definitely want to seal it with an acrylic or wax. Number 7. So for this project, I got a very tall little dinette table and 2 bar stools. For the dinette table, I went with a really random finish that I kind of just made up as I went, because the top finish of this table had some stains in it that I couldn't get out. You can see some dark spots in there. So I tried staining it darker and darker, and you could just still see those stains in it. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna give it like the lime wash look, but I didn't have lime wash on hand. So what I did is I watered down white paint a little bit, not too much, just like 1 part water to 3 parts paint. And I wiped it on with a rag and then wiped off the excess. And it turned out to have this really kind of beachy look that I liked a lot. And it did have a bit of that lime wash feel to it. I sanded it to kind of age it a little bit and rough it up and kind of work out the spots that were imperfections from my whitewashing method that I just made up as I was going. And it turned out really nice. I loved how it looked like driftwood, kind of. Then I whitewashed the base of the table, and it turns out I didn't like how it looked, so I went back over it with a paintbrush and regular white paint, and I liked that more contrasting white color compared to the whitewash of the top of the table. For the chairs, all I did was recover the seats in drop cloth fabric, and of course I did clean the rest of the bar stools. The reason why I did not paint the bar stools is because bar stools get really banged up, and these were metal, so it wouldn't have looked the way I would want something to look to be more farmhouse, I guess, if it had gotten banged up really bad around where you put your feet or where it hits the counter. Those kind of things would just make it look like icky instead of cute and aged. So I kept that beat up metal finish that was already on there and just covered the seats again. Number 8, this table I loved so much. So for this table, I got it for a couple dollars at a thrift store, like I always do, and I ended up painting a buffalo plaid or buffalo check finish on the top. And I went to sell this piece, and so many people said, oh, I love it so much, but it never sold. And I think the problem was that it was just too busy looking, I guess. I don't know. I really loved how it looked, but I did have a difficult time finding a place for it in my home without it looking too different from the rest of my furniture. So maybe that's what other people were also seeing. But I just wanted to show you how I did it because it still was a really cute piece, and somebody out there might want to know how to do a buffalo plaid or buffalo check finish on top of a table. It was really simple. So this is how I did it. Number 9. Now this is one of the videos that I was saying is one of my super old YouTube videos. I think this was literally like the second video I ever uploaded, and it's funny watching through all of my YouTube videos because I have changed so much between now and then as far as my body shape goes too. Like I have had a baby, and then now I am much larger than I was back when I made this video, so it's kind of fun to watch. But I used black chalk paint on here. I sanded the surface first a little bit just because there were some like interesting textures going on this wood, and I wanted to make sure that that black was really matte and flat and nice and smooth looking. And the paint that I used, I believe I bought at Home Depot, just whatever the Home Depot brand of chalk paint was, and I sanded it to give it that distressed look. And then this part I wanted to explain, which is these are the side rails of the bed. If you want to go back and watch the original video, I explain all of this in detail, but the side rails were damaged on one of them. So what I did is I moved the little like 1x1 piece of wood that holds the box spring. I moved them from the bottom end of the side rails to the top part of the side rails. And one of the other reasons why I did this is because I didn't have a box spring for this bed, so I wanted to make it to where my mattress would be sitting up as high as it would need to, as if there was a box spring in there. So I just put wood slats instead of having a box spring and moved these side rail pieces up higher so that the bed would sit at the right height. So here I am just screwing in those new, well, not new, but reusing those same pieces again to create a higher height where the mattress is going to sit. It's so funny watching these videos that were so old because my home has changed drastically since I uploaded this video. So this bed has been sold and my kids now have a bunk bed instead of two separate full-size beds. Here I'm just going to be putting on a dark antique wax and then wiping it off. It's such an easy way to finish a piece, especially if you don't want to be outside painting and putting on like a polyurethane. This wax gives it, it's a pretty matte finish after it's like cured, but it gives it a little bit of shine, but still has like a matte, soft look to it, and when you feel the wood finish afterwards, it just feels so smooth. Number 10. This one is probably one of the funniest DIY projects or furniture flips that I've ever done, and I wanted to save this one for last. But this came from a restaurant called Chewy's, and it has little heads on the back of it so that when you sit in the booth, it looks like there's people sitting behind you, and they're really funny caricatures. And the whole shop is like kind of like maybe a California or Mexico beach theme, but I cut off all those heads, and it was so funny because it just felt weird like cutting off a head. I don't know. If you go back and watch the original video, you'll probably laugh. But I cut off all those weird heads that were on the back of this bench and then sand it down smooth, repaint the piece, and then you'll see I have a giant wooden rooster that I'm going to add to the back of this bench, and I used it in my garden for a while and then eventually sold it when I didn't need it any longer. And that is like the story of all the DIYs that I've ever done for furniture. I always do something that I love, and then I end up finding something even cooler later, and then I sell it and make a profit off of it. And that's something that I wanted to mention to you guys because it is something that you could also do. And I only sell my stuff on Facebook Marketplace now. So I don't do Etsy, I don't do antique shops anymore. It was just too much of a hassle. So I just go ahead and sell on Marketplace. And then I covered the seat, the cushion that came with it, because it was this ugly black leather cushion. I covered it with just a regular drop cloth and just tucked it in. That way I could take it off and wash it whenever I needed to, since this bench was going to be outside. Super simple project. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you don't want to miss out, then make sure you hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button so you can know right away when I upload a new video. I hope you are all doing well, and I will see you next time. Bye!